few short seconds, I can be recording. Episode number
8.
8. I don't know. I'm lost every single time. I feel like this is 10. I have no
No, it's
idea.
8. Definitely 8. Today's Sophie's 8th birthday, too.
Oh, what? Happy birthday to
Yeah.
Sophie. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
she's
8 and 8. Eighth
around.
episode, 8 years old.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. We were just talking about when you guys were all here that like I still have like memories will pop up on my phone of when she was like we were chilling at your old house and she was just sitting on my lap and she was about yay big.
Yep.
Just tiny little thing.
Time flies.
That's crazy. Well, so is this going to be a thing every week? Is like you wear some sort of shirt that's supposed to captivate the audience?
You like that?
NBA Jam. Just not trying to be rude, but in that game, where were where was the duo of Williams and Weber ranked amongst that
Non-existent.
game?
This t-shirt company Homage started making vintage t-shirts for all the different sports, and they'll do like even current teams. They'll put like Devin Booker on there with Kevin Durant.
They weren't in NBA Jam, huh?
No, no,
They might have been in one of them.
no.
No,
NBA
no,
Jam
never
was
mind.
like
No, yeah, no. I was thinking of oh
90s,
no, 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 not
5.
Jam. I was thinking of yeah, I
2K.
don't. No, whatever the games were right before 2K. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I can't remember, but
No.
well, it's what is today? Wednesday?
Wednesday the 7th, man. May 7th.
Getting closer. Getting
It's
closer
getting
and closer
closer
to the
every
day.
day.
Getting
Starting
closer and
next
closer to
month,
the
I'm
day.
going to start packing. And by packing, I mean packing up the house here to move the wife and kids to the new house before I get my truck and head east on I-40.
It's a long, straight, boring drive.
Can't wait.
It's about as boring as it gets. It's not too bad, and then once you get to Arizona and get to see, like some of that, it's pretty nice to see. And then after you pass through Arizona, I mean, it couldn't be any flatter and any more boring, pretty much all the way until you get to Tennessee. It's
Yeah.
literally flat and boring. So
Just going to
yeah,
listen to Sean Ryan listen to his podcast, put the truck in cruise,
we'll
and
have to do
cruise.
we'll do a podcast from the road while you're driving.
Oh, we should. We could do that, right?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, I don't know if you can log into this on your phone. Probably.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if I'll have reception in the middle of Texas, but
Yeah,
we'll
I'm sure
see.
you will. But I mean, you'll probably want to do like a 5 hour podcast because you'll be bored out of your
Can
mind.
you do a 36-hour
You'll be like,
podcast?
you'll be like,
Just Skype?
please don't hang up, please.
Yeah, don't hang up. I'm in the bathroom. You see my feet?
Yeah, like
Random
please,
truck stop.
please don't hang up. No, you're just driving. You're just gonna be bored. The second I hang up, you're just gonna be like, what do I do now?
My dad's gonna be with me, so I'll have somebody there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
So yeah,
won't
my
be
drive was
alone, but
Odin just slept in the back of the truck the entire time. I was just sitting there for hours on end. It was so boring.
it's gonna be a long one. We have it planned out. We're gonna stop in. I was trying to do 8 hours the first day, and then 12-12,
Yeah,
because if I do 8 hours the first day, I can get down to Bakersfield in about 4, and then cut across and stop in Arizona,
yeah.
and then from Arizona, it's 12 to oh man, I'm blanking right now.
Amarillo probably.
Amarillo, Texas. Yep.
Yeah,
And then
that's where
from
I
Amarillo,
stopped.
it's another 12 to Spring Hill.
Yeah, so that's what I. Those are the exact places I stopped. I stopped in wherever it is in there. I don't remember if it was Phoenix or wherever it
Flagstaff.
is. Yeah, Flagstaff, and then Amarillo, and then yeah, it was another 12 to get to Tennessee. So
Yeah, I've been looking at taking 82, and it's like going through Wyoming would be kind of sweet. I've never been there,
yeah, it's
but it's
probably a
mountainous.
yeah. It's
You know what I
probably
mean?
drive's probably harder. You probably use more gas, but
But it's the same distance. It says 36 hours or 32 hours either way. It's
yeah,
equidistant.
yeah.
But
I mean,
I don't
and
know.
you're starting a different spot too, because you're going to start up near Sacramento, and I started.
No, I'm actually gonna have my dad come out to Santa Cruz on the train and
Oh,
just take the train to San Jose. I'll pick him up, and then we'll just go south from here on 101. Um, or take
Yeah,
5 and
I
just
took
hit Bakersfield
5.
and then go east.
I took 5 all the way down.
Yeah, it's just weird when you're like, you're
It's you
triangulating
have to go so far south just to start going east.
4 hours, not like
I
20
know.
minutes, four
I
hours
know.
south. I'm like, can
That's
I be 4 hours east?
I know. That's what's crazy. Just roads aren't out that way, but
No, it's not. So,
it'll be worth it. It'll be well
uh,
worth it.
yeah,
It's a
yes.
weird feeling. I remember getting in the. I remember like when I took off. I remember having like a really. It was just like a really weird, surreal experience, and I like started driving away because I was. We had moved out of the apartment we were in because Danielle moved before me because I had to finish up work. And so I was in my mom's house living there for like a month while I finished up all my work stuff and had to, sign off all the stuff to get Odin and all that and finish everything up. And so it was like saying bye to my mom. It's like, all right, see you later. I'm getting in the car and I ain't coming back. So I was excited though, but it is a weird feeling once you start driving around and you're like, all right, well, this is, I mean, just for me,
Yeah,
I just never, growing up, I just never imagined I would move away, but kind of had to. Didn't really have a choice. That state forced my hand. So.
yeah, it is what it is. You reap what you sow.
Well, speaking, we may as well start off with this. I had some things written down that we could talk about just to give us, topics, so we're not just
You can
blowing off
write?
nothing. Shockingly, yes, I still do know how to write. I do write in all capitals, but I do write.
Oh, can you read
Back,
cursive?
yeah, I can read cursive. I learned cursive as a kid, but just being a cop, I still write my letters in all capitals just from when they teach you that for some weird reason. But one of my things was the NBA because I watched my first NBA game yesterday of the year, I should say. I hadn't watched a single game, but I watched the Warriors game yesterday.
Hey, did you hear about the news about the Warriors today?
I did. Well, actually, I take that back. I watched the last. It was just a coincidence when I turned on the TV. I watched the last 10 seconds of the Pacers uh,
Oh, where
Cavaliers
Halliburton hit the
game.
shot?
I literally watched. I turned it on and it was right at the start of his free throws. That's right when I turned the TV on. So I saw that exact. That's all I saw of that game was that sequence, and I was like, "Well, that was pretty cool." And
That's
I
all
was
you
like,
needed
"Well,"
to see,
and
really.
I was like, "Well, he's definitely going to get fined for that, but still rad."
Oh, are you talking about the
Yeah,
Serrano?
yeah, the Serrano, the big ball
Yeah.
celebration. Yeah, I was like, and Danielle's like, why? And I'm like, if you understood what that celebration means, you would know why. I'm like, just kind of imagine where his hands are and what he's kind of holding and simulating. She's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, he'll probably get fined like 25 grand.
No, dude, they're gonna cancel that because remember, was it last week or the week before in their first series against the Bucks, there was a news article
I
that
don't
came
remember
out
that.
where they they did like a vote in the NBA and like a bunch of people voted him like the most overrated player in the NBA and he like took it to heart and they were like he's the most overrated and then he beat Giannis and then now hitting game winners and they're up
Yeah, but
2-0 against
the
him.
league will still have to fine him though. The league,
I
the NBA is
mean,
gonna fine him. That's on national television. They gotta do something. I mean, it's not like they
you
really
don't
care,
even
but
know
they
what
have
that
to.
means. Maybe
Uh,
he's cradling a baby.
Yeah, you don't really cradle a baby with two hands separated below your waist in between your knees, kind of like this.
I mean,
It's better than Shooter McGavin. I mean, I'll give you that.
it's
Freaking
true.
John Morant. I call him Shooter McGavin now.
Mm.
Every time he
His little
scores.
muscle fingers.
Yeah, Shooter McGavin just throwing grenades and freaking rifles and at people. Shooter McGavin.
It's like, bro, you guys, you're making millions of dollars to play basketball. Just shut up and play basketball.
And he grew up in a suburban, like, nice neighborhood. It's not like
Oh,
he
John
grew up on
Morant's
the
ghetto,
streets.
straight from the hood.
Yeah, straight from his real name's Clarence. His real name's Clarence. But yeah, so that was the exciting news in the NBA was that the Warriors still somehow won because the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think, played the worst game in NBA playoff history, statistically maybe,
And
and
they
the
won.
Warriors still won somehow.
The thing is now with Curry's hamstring injury, they said no timetable, but that injury is so common. What I read today was that the common or the average time out for an injury like that is about 10 days.
Hmm.
And in 10 days, you could lose the series right there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like and that's 10 days not on a how old is he 36?
Yeah, somewhere
It's
around
like
there.
he's
He's in
not
the mid
spring
30s.
chicken. He's not like a 22
No.
year old that has, you know, fast
Yeah,
recovery.
but at the end of the day, it's like if he misses one game, if they lose game two and they lose game three, it's like okay. Do you want to sit the remaining 3 days to heal up to 100%, or are you going to suit up for game four? Because if you lose game four, you're down 3-1. It's over, right?
You know what scares me though about that is that when you get old, like think Kevin Durant, think of Damian Lillard, think of Kobe Bryant. These guys that have these injuries and they try to play through them, they start to protect that injury and then they end up pulling their Achilles. That's like a new
Yeah.
thing, like Klay Thompson, right? Like
Yeah.
the Achilles, Steph Curry, it's like, dude, I mean, his window is closing. I could argue that with Jimmy Butler and maybe some other trades this offseason, he could still maybe be like title contender next year, but that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. Like after
Yeah.
next year, there's there's no way.
Well, if
I
you're as competitive as him and you're like, no, you need to sit the next 3 days, it's like, why? If I sit the next 3 days, the season's over anyway. So what am I sitting for?
To
We,
not break
we,
your body for the rest of your career.
what
I mean,
career? He's only got 1 year. It's like this is his best shot, pretty much. Maybe next year if they pick somebody else up that can kind of help them, but it's like
they need a big
they already knocked off a team they had.
Giannis.
They already knocked off a big. No, they're going to get Sabonis.
I'd be fine with that.
No, you wouldn't. You would hate that.
Nope. Peace. Good
That's your
riddance.
that's your guy, dude. You love Sabonis.
I don't. I don't.
Okay.
I like Tyrese Halliburton, and we traded him. I liked Davion Mitchell. We traded him. I like Keegan Murray. He's still there. But as far as like Sabonis goes, dude, I cannot handle someone who's 6'10, 6'11 missing layup after layup after layup. The guy
Yeah.
has zero finesse around the rim. Can't handle it. It's like, dude, just dunk the ball. Why are you trying to go glass with these little hook shots from underneath the basket? Just dunk every freaking time. Every single time.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
So what's your prediction? Who wins? Well, before we
And
move on
what, the
from the
whole
NBA,
thing?
the whole thing, whole shebang.
Probably the Celtics.
God, that's so horrible.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the Cavs, I mean, OKC losing, there was
Is it
yeah,
is it just
some
me, or
issues
is it
there.
like even though
Bumbling.
I haven't watched the NBA consistently for a few years, but like is it just me, or is it still like when you see a team name like the Cavaliers or the Thunder, there's still a piece of my brain where I'm like they can't win. It's like I can't see it in my brain being like, oh yeah, for sure they're gonna win. It's like I think they have to win one for people to be like, oh yeah, they're a contender. Because
Yeah.
like
Well, I
OKC's the
mean,
ones, aren't they? Are they the one seed?
they're the one seed big time.
That's but
Best
still,
best record in the league.
but I look at them and I'm like, eh, I don't know.
Well, they're that good.
But I know, but then you look at a team like the Celtics and you're like, well, yeah, they could definitely win easily. But it's like they
Well,
didn't
yeah,
have the
because their
best record.
pedigree. They've got what 18
I
championships. That
know,
was still their.
but the Thunder have the best record, and there's still a piece of my brain being like saying the words OKC Thunder, the champions, is just like,
Well, they haven't won it yet.
well, that's why
Well,
it's
the
like
second round.
it's hard for you to be. No, I'm just saying like picturing that in my brain, like picking them to win is
Yeah.
just like I can't in my brain. I'd pick the Warriors over them, and it's like why? It's like
Yeah.
it's just because I've never seen them do it before, so I'm like I don't see them winning. Like have to see it first.
Well, the Cavs, up until about a week ago, I would have said like put money on Cavs Celtics or sorry Cavs OKC in the finals.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted. That's what I thought. That's not going to sell. NBA doesn't want to see that. But Cavs OKC in the finals. But the Cavs just sat Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. They're, I would argue, top two out of three players on their team. Like definitely top three, both of those guys. And they almost won. So it's like if those two guys come back, I don't know what their injuries are, but if they come back, you're not beating them.
well
Indiana's not beating them.
it may be too late for that now.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that now it's down, you're down 0-1, you got one more game at home and then two away. It's like, I mean, it can go either way, but Celtics are healthy. They're pretty good, man.
Didn't they just lose, or did they win that game in overtime?
Celtics lost
They lost, right?
to,
The Knicks. They went to overtime.
yes, because Jalen Brunson is just a beast.
Yeah, he missed that layup at the buzzer though to win it
Yeah.
in regulation. I saw that. I did see that.
He's a
So I'm
beast
trying to
though.
watch it. I just feel weird. I feel like a sellout just watching playoffs. Just like it feels like I'm like I shouldn't even be watching this. I didn't watch all year, so it's like why am I watching this? But
Watch what you like, man.
it is what it is. Let's see. You have anything else? I have topics, but if you have stuff you're want to
So,
talk
so I
about,
want to talk a little bit about what we were messaging about today in a second. It'll kind of piggyback on what I'm going to say right now. We took Sophie this weekend to Great Wolf Lodge
hmm
for her birthday, which was like it was interesting. Let's say that the clientele in Manteca.
I was gonna ask where it was. I thought it was in like Sonora or
Oh
something.
man, and I'll tell you, Alicia and I were talking, and not to put people down or anything like that, but it's a water park for those people that are watching that don't know. It's a water park where they have mini golf. They've got this little bowling alley. They've got restaurants. It's pretty cool. Like it's a cool all inclusive. Not all inclusive. They don't give you food and drinks. You have to pay for that, but it's all inclusive. Like you buy your tickets and you can like go do stuff. There's a wave pool. There's big slides. It's fun for kids for sure. But we were looking at the people that were there, the clientele, and I don't think, and this is not even exaggerating, I don't think there were more than 10 people out of the probably three or 400 that were inside the swimming area, less than 10 people that were of a normal BMI, like normal, what doctor would say you're not at risk for like heart disease, hypertension,
Yeah.
diabetes. Like it was kind of eye opening. And I'm not making fun of them, but I'm looking around just going, dude, there is something wrong with our system.
Oh, for
Like this
sure.
many people, and then the amount of kids that I saw, where I'm looking at the kids going, dude, I don't, you might not make it to 35.
You weigh more than me.
Yeah, and I mean to a point where I'm looking at just going, man, this is glaringly obvious that we have some issues in this country with childhood obesity, just the foods, the things we're putting in our bodies, which is why I'm happy for RFK.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like looking at that, I'm going, man, we got to make some changes because
Yeah.
that was overwhelming, overwhelming the amount of people. Like, if you would have seen it, you're like, it wasn't that person over, that person over there. It was like everybody.
Yeah,
Really weird.
it is crazy that there's just all the pushback on all that stuff for the food stuff, and it's like, why are we pushing back? Just because a certain guy is saying it, people are upset about it, and it's like
Yes.
he's
Yes.
not pushing a political agenda. It's food. It's literally food. It's not Republican or Democrat. It's food. It's what we eat. Why are you getting mad at the guy's a Democrat? First of all, he's not a Republican. So it's like, and I just don't understand why anyone is mad at getting rid of like all these dyes and carcinogens and stuff. It's like they make all these, Europe has all the exact same foods and stuff, and they don't make them with that stuff over there. It's illegal. They can't. So they can make it here. We just allow them to make it, which allows them to save a boatload of money because all those artificial stuff is way cheaper and the food lasts 10 times as long because they put artificial preservatives in it so it can sit on the shelves for days. So they save money not only in making less product because the products don't go bad, but then those artificial dyes and stuff are way cheaper than using actual fruit dyes. So it's like, why are you upset by that? I don't understand the pushback on wanting to fix the food system. I'm very confused by that.
Well, you know what's interesting about it? The whole narrative, everything is based on the information that people receive, right? Because you and I, people that are of a different political party, say Democrats, liberals, whoever they are, like obviously I'm conservative, but liberals and other people, we all get our information from different sources, but from the same conglomerate, the media.
Yeah.
And the media controls every single thing that we hear and see. So you and I don't even know about RFK except for what we get from the media that we listen to. So
Yeah.
really, I look at it and I go, man, I think the overarching problem in this country isn't even division, it's the media.
Oh,
I
for
think the
sure.
media is ruining everything. And what do they stand to gain from that? Money.
For sure. Right wing too.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Both
Yeah,
ways.
right wing. It's
Yes.
like
Mhm.
all those Fox, CNN, whatever you want to watch, their whole idea, they have their little pre-show meeting. Literally, the whole agenda is like, all right, how can we get people fired up? How can we piss them off? The whole agenda is
How
to
can we
piss you
continue
off.
to get them to hate each other?
Yeah, how do we piss them off? And it's like that both sides are just working to piss their viewers off to be pissed off at other people. It's like they're not just like giving you information. The information is very hardly skewed to piss you off. It's the whole point.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, we're not really solving a problem if both sides are just violently angry at each other for things that they probably don't need to be necessarily angry about. But it's like you're not going to come to a middle ground resolution on anything ever when both sides think the other side is psychopaths and that they're just these crazy lunatics, extremists. It's like that's not really true. There's extremists on both sides, but the majority of people are not extremists. So it's like people are probably a lot closer than they think. The majority of people are probably somewhat closer to their ideas than they think, but then they watch these things and they get all fired up and they freak out and then they, go scratch up Teslas and scream that RFK's he's trying to kill kids. It's like
Or
I don't
continue to
understand.
push this defund the police you saw up in Washington, all this kind of stuff they're doing with.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And I think the media, and I don't know what the answer is, because really it's like, how do you, the only way for this to be fixed would be for somebody in the media to become ethical again and to want to report in an unbiased way. But when has that happened
Joe Rogan.
ever, really? And it won't stop until what they have to gain from it, they no longer have to gain. Like
Well,
they
that's why
yeah.
people listen to Joe Rogan. And that's why he does the podcast. Like he had nothing to gain. He had adamantly stood on pretty much the grounds like whatever in 20 I don't know if it was 2020 or 2016. He had adamantly said on his podcast that he would never have Trump on his podcast. He said, I will never do anything to help that man's agenda. I will never do that because he didn't believe in it because he was still, everyone back then was still that the only forms of media were, you either watched one channel or you watched the other. That was pretty much it. Social media wasn't really that like super news formative. It was still kind of just entertainment back then. But now it's so you can get entertainment, but you can also get news and stuff. And so he was starting to realize, all the just bias everywhere. And so he wanted to have both candidates on and be fair about it. So it's like that's why Trump did all those podcasts because it's like, well, these are just normal people. They're not this guy, Trump and Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, all these like comedian like they don't work for Fox. Joe Rogan said he's not even he's not a Republican, right? He's like, I'm a middle. I don't really have a party. I just call everything like I see it. Every single issue is just I have whatever stance I have on that issue. He's like, I have no party lines. I just whatever I feel. And then it's like, okay, well, if we're gonna get, then people just decide, okay, well, I'm gonna get news from these people because they're not trying to push some agenda. They're just asking questions to get answers, and it's not this crazy. That's why the debates were so. Everyone realizing now debates are so stupid because it's like, okay, well, one party gets to pick who moderates the debates, and then it's like they just hammer one person with crazy questions and just just tee it up for the other person. Softballs. They interrupt one person. It's just everyone, and I think everyone's starting to see that the media is just a joke. It's dumb. It doesn't help anything, and it's like getting your information from them just doesn't do you any good. So I think the majority of people saw that, and that's why it was so drastic this time around.
What's funny is I forget the clip that I saw, but there was a conference with President Trump that included Defense Secretary, all the main cabinet members were there. JD Vance was there, and JD Vance made a speech about the first 100 days in office about Trump, and he was just talking about the things that he had done that were positive, and he literally called out the media and just said why are you guys not reporting on these great things he's doing? You focus on this other BS. And he said BS, and I'm just like, dude, thank you for calling it out.
Yeah.
And same thing with the press secretary. Like, she is, I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, she's Republican. Yes, she's from my party, and that makes me happier than listening to Carrot Top or somebody else make speeches about lies. But but she will call people out and be like, "What are you talking about?" Like
Yeah.
it's this idea of let's bring back just common sense. And I don't want common
Yeah.
sense to be the new buzz term that gets killed or canceled because it's deemed a Trump thing. Common
Yeah.
sense is just don't be a dumbass.
Yeah.
Think about things logically. Try not to hurt people, be a good person, and let's just be rational,
Yeah.
right?
For
Common
sure.
sense, be rational.
Speaking of common sense, one of the things that I wrote down in my little notes that I wanted to talk about, we can move on from politics. One of the things that I have adamantly stood on for years that Danielle does not agree with me is that I want to abolish any type of birthday or greeting card.
Hmm.
Why? Why do we do them? Why do we? Why am
Same.
I? Why am I going to the store and buying a $5 card? You don't even read it. No one, and even if they do, it's like I have to drive to the store, spend $5, get an envelope, write my name in it, and then hand it to someone, and they read it for 3 seconds, and that thing's gone.
Hmm.
In little kids, we go to, she has nephews and everything, but it's like, well, when they were younger, they're starting to read now, but it's like we'd have to go to the store and buy a kid who can't read a card, and you're like, have you ever seen a kid open a gift? It goes like this: they open the bag, they see a card, and they go, and they're like, that's nothing, and they throw it.
Unless they feel and it's thick and they're like, "Oh, there's money in there."
No, I'm talking about kids that can't even read yet. They don't know how to read. So then we're buying a card, spending money and time on a card for someone who can't read. What are we doing?
So
What are we
it,
doing?
it
Like,
it goes.
why? What are we doing?
It's the same argument for why do we have daylight savings time
No
for something
sense.
that was created for farmers.
But I don't, and she's very adamant. She's like very pro, like getting someone a card. And it's like, unless you're writing a hand written, heartfelt message that is like for a specific reason, I'm for that. I'm not against like writing someone, like someone does something or get well or like a thank you card that's very specific, but I'm against just like going to the store, looking through the aisles, being like, oh, I guess this one's almost funny. And then you grab it and you write, from whatever, and then you just hand it to, it's like, why?
You know what I want to see you do?
Why can't you just say that gift's from me? It has a little tag on it, that's from me, and then they open it. Why? Why do I have to get a card with it? I don't understand it.
I am expecting from you now for the rest of our friendship and our lives. I want you to get some fine parchment and a nice fountain pen, maybe one with a feather
A
quill
fountain pen? Okay.
fountain pen, because you were never allowed to ever get me a card. I want a handwritten note from you because I agree with you, but I think it's because people are lazy. It's rather than say something heartfelt, they're going to let the card speak and then they just go, from me.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do that, let's just not even just X-nay it. You
Wait,
could.
that's like saying don't say nice things to people. I mean, you can still say nice
I'm
things.
not saying anything. The card's saying that. You couldn't tell me one card you've ever gotten in the past 10 years that you remember the little 30-cent joke that's written inside of it. You couldn't tell me one.
No, but I remember what my wife wrote in it and I still have it in my nightstand.
Exactly. That's my point. You can do
Yes,
that if you're
so
writing,
I
but
agree with you. So you need to stop buying cards and start writing heartfelt handwritten notes.
no,
Take it old school.
you can get cards and write in them. I'm for that.
So
But
you're
doing
gonna do that from now on.
but that whole shebang about going through and picking the card that you think is almost funny and then just like it's just, and they're not cheap either. They're like 5, 6, 7, $8 now to get a freaking card.
You know what you can do? Here's your first joke for the inside of your first card you're gonna write. Did you
Perfect.
know that diarrhea is hereditary? It runs in your genes.
You should work for Hallmark.
Do you know
That
where
was
I got
about
that
as
from?
that was about as good as the jokes that are in Hallmark cards.
So Popa gave me his login information for HBO Max, so I
Hmm.
could watch this new show called The Pit, which is apparently supposed to be super legit. This doctor show, and I literally texted him like, "Hey man, I'm gonna just so you know, I'm gonna start watching this show. So if you ever got like a ping like someone's using your account, he would at least see like no, it was me." And I went to go look at the pit, but then I saw this like ad or this little thumbnail right in front of it for this show called I can't even say it now. Uh, This is Us. Wait, no, not This Is Us. That's a different show. The End of Us.
Hmm.
The Last of Us. The
I
Last of Us.
I don't know. Don't look at me. I don't watch HBO Max. I have no idea.
Dude, I am like addicted to it. It's a
Oh
movie or
God.
it's a show about like end of times, kind of like Walking Dead,
Oh,
but it's a little bit different. And I'm like, dude, this show is good. And that joke came from that show. I just watched it yesterday.
Last of Us. That's not the. No, that's not the other like zombie show, is it? Like
No, well, The
with.
Last of Us it's not zombies per se. It's like a spore. Like basically, the human race is almost wiped out by
Is that the one
a
with Pedro Pascal or whatever?
yes,
Oh,
yep,
I watched the first season of that. I remember that.
yeah. So I'm on like episode 7. I
Oh,
know there's a second season that just came out, but it's really good, and
yeah.
I'm just that's where the joke came from. That's why I brought
No,
that up.
I don't remember that joke in there,
Highly
but
recommended. Very inappropriate for kids.
perfect. I
Very
remember that.
inappropriate.
There's only one part I remember that show, but I won't put any spoilers in it.
Please
I
don't
don't
tell
even know
me.
if you're there. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not go there.
And speaking of cards and useless things, I have two of these coming up, and I was thinking about them. How crazy are graduation ceremonies?
Depends on what for.
Like
Graduating what?
Robbie, it's a big deal.
Graduating college.
He's graduating college. It's a very, very noble and great achievement he's making. I'm not knocking his achievement. There's nothing
Hmm.
wrong with that, and I'm not mad that I'm going to a graduation. But you just sit down and you think about the logistics of a graduation. Like this college
Boring as
graduation,
shit.
it's logistically it's several hours long,
Hmm?
and all I care about is to hear another person, another human, say Robbie's name over a loudspeaker.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Well, here's the cool part.
It's
Lucky for
great.
you,
It's
it's
great.
2025, so you have your phone to keep you company. Think
Yeah.
back to 2003
Oh,
when I graduated, and all we had was flip phones. That was really boring.
sitting there playing Snake the whole time.
You're literally like, bro, my last name's Narandi. I've got like 7 rows in front of me.
Well, Robbie's the second to last person in his
Oh,
school
that's
of
Z.
business.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sucks.
ZU. There's a
What if they
ZW,
go
and
backwards?
there's a ZW, and he was mad about it because that person's after him. He wanted to be last.
Oh, that's
But
terrible.
luckily, we were reading the itinerary or agenda. His school, like the business school, is the first thing on the agenda. So we were telling
Oh, so
him
they're
like,
doing it by school, not by.
so we were
That's
telling him like, bro, when they announce your name, get that fake piece of paper that's not even your diploma and fucking skeet out.
there's not even it's not even real.
No, that's what I'm saying. Just skeet out. And they're like, someone was like, well, what if he has to go sit back down? I'm like,
He
how are
won't.
they? How are they going to
Yeah,
make him sit back down? No, how are they going to just walk out? What do you mean they can't
no,
tell
that's
you
not
to
how they
sit
do it.
down?
So they walk across the stage and
Yeah,
they fill back in their row, and then the person that's doing the commencement will say something like, "And now introducing the business class of 2025," and they'll all throw their hats in the air and
yeah,
try not to get poked in the eye.
yes. And then after that, out.
Yeah.
We're gone.
Uh-huh.
So
Yes.
luckily his school's going first, so we're gonna try to hopefully it won't be super long. We don't have to sit there to the whole thing. But just I
I will
just thought
tell
about
you,
that idea of like waiting to hear a name be called and watch them walk across the. And I think now with like graduations, they don't even want you to cheer. Like they want save applause for the end. So it's like you're just like
they do like the
yeah, and so it's like it's just a crazy thought. I mean, I'm very happy. I'm not mad that I'm going. I'm very excited for him. That's awesome. Like, I don't have my bachelor's, so it's like he's done more than me. So
I remember vividly not my teaching credentialing graduation because I didn't go to that graduation, but I went to my Sac State graduation in 2007 from college, and my major was very small. Like I think that we had like maybe 30 people graduate
yeah, underwater
in like
basket weaving is a hard major.
it was, I know. Yeah. I'm pretty good at it though. I could do like an interlocking weave that somehow kind of like goes
That's a good
in
one.
like this.
There you go. That was good.
Um, but I remember, I forget if I don't remember much of that night. I don't remember where we started, but we definitely were drinking some Jack Daniels before graduation.
Smart.
And I just remember sitting there and my professor was right next to me. And because we were such a small major, like our professors knew all of us by our first name. And I forget who it was, but they just leaned over to me and they're like, "Mike, have you been drinking?" And I just looked at him and was like, "Yes." And that was it. I just said
Yes.
yes. Like
Yes.
at that point, you're like, dude, I'm done. I've already passed all my
What are you
classes.
gonna do?
My credits are there. I'm graduating. This is like the culmination of the 4 years of college. And I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah,
Yes, sir,
yes.
I have. Thank you.
No, it wasn't even that, dude. It was just a yes. Just a very nonchalant and just turn back and look at the stage.
What are they gonna
Yep.
do? Nothing they can do.
Nothing. They don't care. It was just funny the way it went down. The delivery was good.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't.
great.
But yeah, I don't. I'm running out of topics unless you got stuff that you are fired up about or interesting or things
No,
that you're
I
thinking
was,
about.
I was gonna mention what we had talked about while I was at the gym today about eating stuff because going back to that Great Wolf Lodge story about the overwhelming amount of people that I saw that were needing some help health wise. I'm trying to drop some lbs because, as most police officers or former police officers, I have lower back pain, and right now my lower back pain is just like acting up, which is a bummer because it's on the other side of my back. When it was on the right side, I had an injection that helped it, but now it's hurting on the left side, and I have two bulging discs. So I'm
Perfect.
like, what can I do besides like, stretching to get better? And I know that I got to lose like 20 pounds from my midsection to kind of like lower my weight because your body works harder when you weigh more. And
Yeah.
it's just a known fact that if you have a stronger core, that helps your lower back.
100%.
So I'm thinking of like things I can do. So in the morning, this has been really, really helpful. Instead of waking up, pouring my coffee, and then immediately start scrolling for 30 minutes before I
Yeah.
wake Sophie up, I wake up, put on clothes, make my coffee. I grab Finn and I take him on a mile walk around the loop here.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get back 40 minutes later, then it's like I started my day with some exercise.
Yeah.
Um, that's been super helpful. Oh, here come the children. What's up, Sophie? Um, so then I'm just listening.
Sorry.
All right, thank you. Pretty soon we'll do the podcast in person.
We did one.
But going back to that. So then another thing besides just walking in the morning, it's also welcome to fatherhood.
Yeah.
Um, Eating healthy, right? So you and I
Yeah.
were talking about what I've tried before, like about 2 months ago, was the carnivore diet, which is basically just, for those who don't know, going with just basically meat, eggs, nothing processed, no bread, no rice. I did go off a little bit because you're not supposed to really have fruits and vegetables. I looked it up, but I'm looking at it going like, man, if I have some sweet potatoes or some broccoli or
Yeah.
carrots, like that can't be bad, right?
No.
So that's my goal, is to just kind of go with that. And like when I did it a couple of months ago, it wasn't that bad if you prepped. Like I get ground beef from Costco,
Yeah.
and just like do a bunch of ground beef. I'd have steak and chicken, and I'd take deli meat and slice it up. I'd have hard boiled
Yeah.
eggs, and it feels good. It really
Yeah.
does. You feel
It's
like
just
light. Like, yeah.
it's just a lot of work because, like you said, you have to have food because if there's ever a moment where you're like, oh, you're running around, you're like, oh, I need to have lunch, and you don't have anything ready, then it's like, well, you're not going to be able to just like go through a drive-through or go to the store and just like grab meat. Or like you can't just go grab a hard. I mean, you could go to the gas
Not
station and
always.
get some hard-boiled eggs, but it's like it's much. If you don't have that food ready to go and you're on the run, it's like you're going to grab something that's it's a freaking microwave burrito or something. You're going to heat something up real quick that's not great. So
Yeah. But you know what you can do, like In-N-Out Burger. I've had this a couple of times where I'll get a hamburger with
yeah.
like no cheese on it, but
Mhm.
I'll still get the like grilled onions and the tomatoes,
Yeah.
and then have it just wrapped in the lettuce.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time at In-N-Out.
Like it's still really good, and you're still
Yeah.
getting all that stuff, and you're not like being like, I can't eat out anywhere. You just
Yeah,
have to be conscious of when you go out to dinner, like order a steak or a chicken, don't get French fries,
I know.
get steamed vegetables with it.
I've been on a big kick of not getting French fries as my side anywhere I go. That's like
It
my.
hurts, man.
It's just so easy, but it's like
Yeah.
it's like you just think about the amount of French fries you eat, and you're like, bro, this is
Yep.
absurd.
I
But yeah, it
think
was.
anything fried is bad,
It
to
is
be
for
honest.
sure. But like it was like In and Out. Like I could get a double double and eat that, and I could get a burger lettuce wrapped, and I could put 4 patties on it, and
Hmm.
I would feel more full after eating the double double than I would be the lettuce wrapped 4 patty burger. I'd feel better. I could eat 4 patties wrapped in lettuce and feel fine, and eat like a double double or like in them with fries, and I'd be like, oh, I'm like just you just feel like it's just a gut bomb. But
It's the bread
yeah, but 4 patties with lettuce, I'm like all day. I felt great. It was like
because
nothing slowed me down.
it's super processed food. And what's funny is that when people talk about the carnivore diet, what they're indirectly saying is, I'm not eating anything processed. Because
Yeah,
I can tell you, the carnivore diet, if you're eating just meat and eggs, and if you want to mix in some fruits and vegetables, great. But you're basically saying, I'm not eating any fried foods, nothing that
yeah,
I have to microwave that's frozen from the store. I'm not having any candy, no sweets. I'm not putting, like, I was drinking just black coffee, like not
yeah,
even putting like creamer in there. I'm actually going to dabble. I was going to ask you about this, but I wonder what the carnivore diet says about if I were to have like raw milk.
yeah. Probably that's probably fine. I don't know if you
Wonder,
can
right?
have
AirPods.
You got AirPods for your birthday?
Yeah,
Oh,
what? That's crazy.
they're corgis.
those are
Oh,
so
corgi
cool.
AirPods.
Very cool.
She got better headphones than me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have fun? Yeah. Yeah. So going back to that, one thing that I was doing that was like super easy for anyone that's interested in doing the carnivore diet. I would go to work with the hard boiled eggs they have from Costco. They sell them in like little 2 packs, like
Oh
they're like
yeah,
last for a while.
yeah.
And I would take like 2 of those to work, and then I would bring like 4 or 5 slices of turkey meat,
Mm.
and then I would literally just wrap the egg in the turkey meat
Hmm.
and just eat that as like a handheld kind of like just kind of snack thing.
Yeah, you just really have to have motivation to sustain it because
It's hard.
it's so easy. The way the system is set up in our food system, it's just so easy to not do that.
Yeah.
There's so many options for you that are so much easier and so much more convenient to just not do that. So it's
Yeah.
like
And it's so bad for you.
I'm saying, but it's so easy. The other options are so easy to get instantly. I go drive and within 5 minutes I could eat it. I could have a Big Mac in my gut in 5 minutes from my house right now.
Yeah.
Easy. No, with a large fry. Easy.
But if you
Gone.
wanted to get deli meat, you'd have to drive to the store, go to the deli,
Have to go
wait for them to
inside,
cut it,
wait for them to
you know.
cut it, wait for them to get it. It's going to cost exponentially more expensive to get the meat than it is an entire burger and fries at McDonald's. I could
Yeah.
eat the burger and fries at McDonald's before I would even get the meat at the store and even check out.
Yeah.
So it's like you
Well,
have to have
that's,
motivation.
but the hard part about it is just it's always that yes, it's harder, yes, it's more expensive, but in the long run, you're going to be happier, you're sleeping better,
Yeah.
you are saving money because you're not, chronically sick, you don't have diabetes.
Yep.
In the long run, what you can't see is how much better it is for you. And I do feel with eating the carnivore diet and trying to get off the screens, like trying not to start your day with the endless clicking,
It's so
with the
hard.
serotonin levels and all this stuff, like I've been just to kind of segue. I also at bedtime. I have bedtime. I'm like 50 now. When I've been going to bed, I don't look at my phone at all anymore for the last like 2 weeks. I just read a book.
It's
So I
good.
read a book. I've been reading a book every night for like 45 minutes. And then I just get real tired when I'm reading. And then I put the book down and I go to sleep. And that's been helping. I don't wake up as many times during the night. I still do wake up in the night,
Yeah.
mostly to pee because I'm trying to drink a bunch of water. And
I'm so bad. I've been actively trying to drink more water, and I'm like, if I'm busy running around, doing drop offs, doing pickups, or I'm training, and then all of a sudden by like 3 or 4 o'clock, I realize I've barely had any water, and then I start chugging it, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to get up 3 times tonight to pee because it's all gonna hit me once I fall asleep.
Yep.
So I'm trying to get better at like when I wake up in the morning, like drinking a full thing of my water thing. Like by the time I finish my coffee, I also have to finish an entire thing of water, and it's like it makes you full. You eat less.
Yeah,
You're
because you're
full.
full on. Yeah.
Half the time I'm like grabbing snacks. I'm like, God, why am I still hungry? And I look, I'm like, oh, I haven't had any water. It's probably why my
You know,
gut is. I'm just filling my gut with food instead of I could just fill it with water and it would be fine. That's probably what it actually wants.
yeah. On that note, it is 5:10 p.m. and I need to go start the smoker because I'm cooking some steak.
One last thing. This is my pet
Shoot.
peeve. Pet peeve of the week
Mm.
is when you are pulling up to a. I just tried to get this out because I would forget and I would never talk about it. Pulling up to a intersection and when someone turns left and they cut the corner and they almost hit you. That happened to me 3 times, I think, today. And I'm just, I'm talking about like you're pulling up to a stop sign and someone's turning left to turn onto the road next to you, and they just
And
like
they cut the
they
corner
just
of your
they
lane.
just and you're like, bro, go up and turn left, but they just cut and they try and you're like, I almost got clipped 3 different times today, and I'm like, dude, just drive the extra 5 feet and turn left. You don't have to. It's not a corner. It's not a round turn. It's an L. You have to go up and make the left. So all you people out there that are
I think
driving,
we've determined through your 8 episodes with me, our 8 episodes, all of your pet peeves
are on
really
the road.
revolve around cars, the road, and people.
Yeah.
People are dumb, and driving motor vehicles, putting dumb people in 1,000-pound metal machines that move, not the best choice.
Oh, I had a story. I forgot to tell it. All right. Well, it's too late. I'll have to save it for next week. You have to remind me.
Maybe
So
for episode 9.
it
Or no,
was
wait, 10.
why?
I don't know. It's double digits. It's cool.
Oh, you have to remind me. It was when we were in the drive-through at Chick-fil-A, and this high school kid started asking us about what is our favorite movie, and I have to share what Danielle's answer was because it was the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's her favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
All
We're
right.
saving that for next episode. I'll remember
right.
that.
Sounds
So
good.
lit. All right, buddy.
All right, buddy. Adios. See you next week.
Later.